Alrighty. Let's see here. Get myself together. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever time in your area it may be. Oh, man. So, I don't normally. Well, I say I don't normally. I actually, this be my first, um, or maybe second Carenado purchase. But those of you who aren't familiar, I'll fill you in on a little bit. But this is the Falcon 50 EX that has been so graciously brought to us by Carenado. Um, those of us who have spent a little time following the industry are well aware of all of the problems or issues some of us have had with a lot of their products, but I just couldn't help myself on this one. I really couldn't. It's a fantastic model, which I mean that's always the case with them, right? I mean it's always just a beautiful model, but we just have a lot of us just has we have such a time trying to get everything to line out. So hopefully it won't be the case here. This will be my second trip on this thing. So you can finish a flight with it, and it's actually not bad. It's not horrible. I know it's not to a point to where the thing is completely unflyable. You can get from point A to point B. Looks amazing. Um, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this thing is, I guess what the term a lot of us use is study level. Um, it's not that, and I mean, frankly, I don't think it was meant to be that. But it's something, something that'll get you from point A to point B. It's visually pleasing to the eye, so you can just enjoy yourself with it. Um, I'll I'll cover a few little nuances I found, and you can draw your own conclusions after that. Okay, so there we go. That's all right. So that's the clip point. I was looking for this. So there's like multiple clip points on the yoke. So if you click this, you actually move the yoke and cause all kinds of problems. So just FYI, just be careful when you do that. Um, I was kind of in a pickle here and trying to figure out where the heck to go, and I was like, yeah, let's go to Pine Belt. Haven't been there in a while. It's a home airport, and I think there's some tropical activity going on around there. So that'll be a little interesting to see what happens. So this does come with the ProLine display, and in order to turn that on, you have to reach all the way back here, crane your virtual neck all the way back here, and hit this little button over yonder, right here. Then you'll hit this little button right here, and there you go. So, just a quick public service announcement. I did make some changes to my broadcasting software, so if you notice any issues with audio or anything out of the ordinary, please let me know, because it's hard for me to kind of watch it and stream at the same time. So just keep me in the loop. Appreciate it. All right, so Falcon 50, one of the very few of the type that actually utilizes three engines versus the standard two. My opinion, it's actually, to me, it'd be quite nice. It's always, in my opinion, always good to have, the more engines, the better, right? But efficiency and economics, unfortunately, would argue otherwise. But so we'll go ahead and get this thing prepped up and ready to go. And as we move along, I'll show you a few of the little little quirks that I saw, and hopefully shouldn't be too bad of a flight. Like I said, there is some weather, and the visibility is pretty nasty where we're going. So it'll be a good opportunity to see how she tracks in ILS and go from there. Fairly simple on the flight plan. We'll just take off. Probably, oh heck, I think the METAR just changed a little bit. Let me see here. Oh, I want to say we'll take off to the north, but I could be wrong. What is it, 0? Yeah, we'll take off to the north and hang in equipment, and then from equipment to Mike Charlie Bravo, or Macomb, and after Macomb it's roughly 50 miles or so to Hattiesburg, and we'll be there. So Kilo Papa India Bravo. Automated weather observation. That's good. There we go. That's in there. We'll probably take up to 39,000 feet. The max service ceiling for the EX is, I believe, 490. The regular 50 was like 41 off the top of my head. I mean, real world, this is a fantastic business jet. I mean, just very capable. I see them all the time. Had the opportunity, it's been some years ago, to walk the cabin. Just very roomy, really, really nice airplane. So that's what we got going on there. So we'll go ahead and flip these guys to align. I think hopefully they'll. There we go. There, yeah. So there's that. Really not a whole lot to the alignment process on this bird. Pretty quick. So and we'll just take it up to 4390. There we go. And while we're doing that, master, we're going to start the APU, which once again is a really simple process. Most of these, especially like the newer business jets, you'll notice like the startup process is really simple. Not a whole lot to get them going. Let's see, what am I looking for? Gusting 16 is not horrible. Let's see. The altimeter setting to 904. Okay. That's good to go. I have yet to figure out how to get my Garmin Pilot app to co-stream with this. So I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. But as soon as I get it, I will let you guys know. As soon as I get it going. Alright, so I'm just kind of winging it here. So we're at power fed here in APUs. That's good. I think our bleeds. We can turn that on. And we'll throw all of this on auto. I think. They do have some handy features here, like the little camera deal there. You can hit that and put you right where you need to go. There we go. Much better. Close that. There we go. Everything looks somewhat kosher. As far as a fuel, I think about 6. Going. I mean, guesstimate. It really depends on if you want to, not fuel where you're going. Just try to, if you can't top it off, try to get somewhere close. I think the flight plan called for about $5 to $6 grand on the fuel plus reserve. So I just threw 12 in there. We're just going to assume fuel is really expensive where we're going. And we'll give ourselves a bit of a payload. We'll do 1800. That's good. Now you can top this thing off and freaking go forever, but we won't need that today. So, and bring the nav lights all the way. Okay. I'll get this eventually. I'll get it eventually. Alright, that's off right now. That guy to arm. Passenger lights off. That guy set. And we'll head back here to the pilot view. One of the complaints, which I can attest to it, the frame rates aren't the best. I have yet to fly or use a Carenado aircraft where the frame rates were the best, being that, you know, like I said, they're so visually pleasing to the eye. So no surprises there. So we're going to fire this thing up. Now, I will go ahead and say the start process isn't, I don't think it's true to form. Like I said, I don't have any time in this thing, but I don't think it's true to form. And I say that, you know, when you're comparing it to the actual, normal procedures, it doesn't quite match up. It may be something with my configuration or something, I don't know. So we'll set this to FMS, and we'll go ahead and beacon light on, and we'll turn our fuel computers or engine computers or whatever type of computers these are. I think they're fuel computers. We'll turn all three of those on. Then from there, put this guy in. Our ground start should be in the center, but it's not. It's, like I said, it's kind of one of the quirks here. So we'll hit that. You'll hear the packs turning off there. And you'll see this come up to about 19%, and it does. Kind of stalls after that. Alright, so we're about 18-ish. So, in theory, what should happen is we should be able to click this guy, bring it up, but that doesn't happen. So what you have to do is kind of cycle this guy here. Something like that. Yes, like I said, it's kind of weird, but I've yet to get it to function. There we go. As advertised. I'm gonna try it one more time. So we'll take this lever and alright, we'll try it again here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see. At some point, we shall hope to get this thing going. Alright, try one more thing. I was trying to bypass this part in the start process. I was wondering if the booster pumps actually need to be on, but apparently they do. So we'll do this. Try this again. I'm sure our starter is like molten right now, but it'll be fine. I don't think it'll penalize us on this aircraft. I doubt it. Alright, so now with the fuel boost pumps on, think I had to do something like this. There we go. Yeah, you gotta do that to get it going. Just kind of a little strange, but I mean, not horrible, I suppose. So we'll do the same thing here. There we go. And we'll go ahead and bring this guy up. And then apparently put it back on ground start. Now, number one, I'm going to leave in ground start and see what happens. Since on the forums there were a lot of complaints that this didn't work. Let's see here. Yeah, that should light off right there. Let's do this. Yeah, it might be not a huge deal. It might be something with the logic. Alright, so fuel. Reset that. And we'll set our pressurization controller. What did I say? I think, what, 39,000, I think. Bring that guy right there-ish. Overtake. And let's see everything else. Flight normal, that looks good there. APU off, that's on. Let's see here. Don't think we need that anymore. Boost pumps off. I thought that was a nice touch there. You do have the little makeshift temperature readout there, which is fairly decent. Well, I hit something. What I hit? I don't think it was this guy here. Alright, generator's on, all that's on. Should be good to go. We'll clear that master caution. Alright, see if we can get out of here. Now, another nuance I found is that our parking brake's off. Okay. Let's see where those generators do. Let's go ahead and oh, there we go. Reset those. Make sure engine 3 computer is not on for some reason. Alright, P-dotes, I'll hold off on the P-dotes. Alright, so this is the tiller. Now I'm not sure if it was something I did, but your regular or your normal assignment for your tiller axis does not seem to work. But what does work is your toe brake. So your toe brakes actually controls the tiller, which makes it a little weird for me. Actually, what we'll do, I'll use number 2 for taxiing. I'm not going to use all 3. I just wonder what the heck that was. Alright. See if we can get it straightened out a little bit. Yeah, it makes it really cumbersome, to say the least. once you get it going, it's not too terrible to deal with. All right. Just takes a little getting used to, and hopefully with a fix or a patch, they'll be able to, or not. See if I can get it straightened out again. There we go. All right, and we'll just make this left turn here. And like I said, I'm just using my number 2 engine for taxiing. I'm not using 1 or 3. But she taxis just fine on 1 engine, especially with everything positioned at the rear. You don't get a whole lot of issues with asymmetry. She tends to track. I bet you if my tilt axis was functioning, I'm sure she'll track just fine. Just some small taps there on the toe brake, just like your old, you know, a lot of GA aircraft. You kind of have to use your pedals there for maneuvering. Get out of it there just a little bit. Excuse me. And like I said, we're taking off Addison Airport. Really quick trip. I think because she'll do Mach 0.84 between 36 and 47,000 feet, so should be a really quick trip. I say really quick, about an hour-ish, give or take. Let's see if I can. We'll take a shot, take a look at the cabin here once we get going. And we'll do slats plus flaps 20, I think. I took a look here. Yeah. I'll do that plus flaps 20. Kind of cloudy here in the Metroplex. A little overcast, but no rain forecast. I think like 20% chance. % chance of rain, so not horrible. But I will say I have yet to find an accurate Proline simulation, which that was really no fault of this aircraft. I was just, you know, think about it, even across different platforms, there are very few, I think, if any, accurate Proline simulations, which makes sense. I mean, you have a lot of the Garmin trainers, so that helps a lot as far as being able to bring that into the sim, but everything else, you know, can be quite difficult to try to throw that in the sim, so I can understand that. We'll come out a little bit and then I'll kind of get her turned around. All right. All right, so let's see, trim set, which they did have that noise in there, which is nice. The trademarked Falcon trim sound. That's pretty cool. All right, that's on. And you do have a couple of modes here. You can either do the standard landing lights or pulse, which during daytime to me, pulse would make more sense. I'll throw those on pulse there. Everything else, for the most part, looks pretty good. It's lined out there, so I think we're ready to go. I think. We'll find out here in a minute. We'll find out here shortly. How's the aircraft on frames? Not the best. I do notice a bit of a hit. It's not horrible, but not the best. And I think my specs are in the description unless it's timed up. Now I'll re-add them, but I basically run an i7 6700K and a GTX 1080, but I don't think I've ever seen or flown a Carenado aircraft that were just awesome on frames. I mean, you're going to take the hit somewhere, right? Especially when you get models that look really good. You're going to take the hit somewhere. We'll get that going there. All right, then we're ready to go. So we'll take off north departure, and we'll just continue as files. So I'll bring that power up a little bit. Let those engines stabilize, and we'll go ahead and get out of here. Let's see. Oh, there's a toe brake there. Okay, airspeed is alive. I'm having to lean a lot on the rudder. Alright, we'll rotate. That's ready to climb, gear up. She is a bit sensitive on the roll, so just be mindful of that. The flaps, you're going to have to come up pretty quick on them. 20 degrees is a lot, so come up pretty quick on flaps 20, and then after that you can get your speed to line out, and then you can bring up slats. Slats not so much of a big deal, but definitely want to come up pretty quick on the slats to get your speed where you want it to be. And then we'll just make that a right turn there. And slats up. And we'll go ahead and reduce that AOA just a little bit. The autopilot, yeah, that is a little unfortunate. Like I said, I did notice a bit of a hit on frames. like I said, it's flyable, you know, for me, but pretty smooth right now. I'll pitch for about 230. Bring the power back to about 9% on the N1. But just as I will say, you know, very, very solid hand flying. Not overbearing at all. You can probably hear me trimming it out now. But really solid, really good hand flying airplane, which I've heard the real one is the real one is as well. It's a really nice hand flying airplane. All right, try to pitch for about 240 there, and see what this autopilot's looking like. We'll go ahead and engage that nav mode. It's probably gonna want us to turn. I'm cool with that. We're at 8,000 feet now. 8,004, 390, flight level 390. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to 10,000. Yeah, you know, and that's always the story, right? I mean, it looks great. It really does. I'll give him that. If no one could do a visual model, Carenado can. I mean, they just have it, and they've always had it down. Even their first releases years ago, they've always just put out just works of art. But they just have lacked system wise. Now, one of the reasons I'll tell you guys why I bought this airplane. There's apparently a lot of the aircraft that Carenado puts out for X-Plane 11, other developers, other individuals normally have their, normally are involved. And this one here, I don't want to mess the guy's name up. Thuranda or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I butchered his name. I'm sorry. All right, let's see if we can fix this airspeed real quick. Right now I'm in. Let's see here. Should be flight level change, but let's see. See if we can fix that. So we'll put this guy. See if she'll pitch for 250 without a nose down. Yeah, she wants to do that. So we'll throw it in vertical speed. Right, we'll throw it in vertical speed mode. Bring our climb up to about 1,000 foot per minute. Let it catch up, and then we'll slowly increase it there. And then we'll put it at 250. And we'll kind of work our way up from there. So you just kind of have to be really slow. You just can't throw it, throw the airspeed all the way up, because if not, it'll nose down. So, and then bring up a little power as well. Now this is supposed to be FADEC controlled, so basically should just be able to, firewall them, and well, not say firewall them, but the computer should prevent you from doing anything crazy with it. But yeah, cool. So looks like we're climbing out 260, so fairly decent. But okay, and then we'll turn this off here, off as well. So yeah, reason why I bought this airplane. So yeah, they they have other developers who have who are very well known in the X-Plane world. So I was like, somebody else is involved. Maybe we'll see a little bit of an improvement. And compared to past experiences I've had with Carenado, this one is actually really good. I can at least get there, you know. But I mean, in terms of systems fidelity, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you this thing's 100% accurate. I mean, like I said, I don't have any time in the real airplane at all, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, you know, this thing's whatever. But just basing off what I know, it's far from that. But you know, if you're looking for something that, you know, provides a good experience, it's not a bad airplane. You know, you go back here. I mean, like I said, the modeling looks phenomenal. Just looks amazing. Most of the window shades do work, so you can pull those down there. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see if you can see them on the outside. Yeah, so, you know, they're covered on the inside as well. Not receiving enough video to... Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, you are. What are you talking about, YouTube? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, just phenomenal interior. So, I mean, that's, as far as it not looking good, that won't be, you won't hear that from me. Let's see if we can go up front a little bit more. The table doesn't work, which, you know, I could honestly care less. Should be a little fold-out table here. But, you know, like I said, I can really care less about that. The door does open to the flight deck, so make your way up front a little bit. Mosey up front. Won't open this right now. But, you know, a little flight attendants area here, I'm assuming. And you can come up here and really just kind of get an idea of the flight deck. And while we're in here, we can go ahead and put this guy on standard. Continue the climb out. So, I mean, as far as once you get everything lined out, you know, the autopilot's flying the flight plan just fine. It does bring the bring your waypoints up here. You know, it seems to be accurate. I mean, we can. It's pretty safe to say this isn't true to form that I know of, but they do. The GTN 750 does come, or I say that it doesn't come with it, but it is set up for the GTN 750, or you can use the standard FMS 4X plane, which, you know, it works. You know, for getting from point A to point B, it works. Of course, this is your air brake spoilers. Spoilers in this aircraft are really strong. It's, of course, the Falcon 50 series. You know, it's well known for its runway performance, getting in out of, you know, hot and high airports. fully loaded. It's well known for that. Hence the reason why we still see quite a few of them. Of course, there's the 2000, I think, the Falcon 2000, which is just, insane. It's like a mini airliner, basically. But in terms of runway performance, this thing is pretty hard to beat. And like I said, range-wise, if you're, if you like the flights between, Chicago and LA, or, I think I think this thing will make it from LA to New York. No, maybe I wouldn't just go all out with a passenger load. I think this thing seats 8. From what I've been told and from what I've read, 8 people on this thing is, you're kind of squished. Which you can kind of see that 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got 3 in the little sofa there. Then you got or 2 or 3 in the sofa, and a couple more in the seats. So yeah, I can see that. 5 people, you're probably 5, 6, people, maybe even 7. I'm sure you're quite comfortable in this thing. So we'll shut the. Where's the door? Where's the door? Where's the door? See if we can shut the door real quick. There we go. So there should be a jump seat here. I'm not sure if it folds out or how it's set up. There is a jump seat on the aircraft, hence the audio panel. So, for those long trips, you have a relief pilot there at least. You can hear the trim wheel going off, but yeah, all in all, it's not bad. Not a bad looking airplane at all, real world wise, and given based on the fact that I can at least complete a flight, I would say, maybe with a patch or something like that, I think it'll be just fine. There has been a bit of a spike in the release of business jets, which is pretty nice. We got this one, and then RW Designs, I think, just released a Mustang or X-Plane, which I haven't purchased it yet. Probably will at some point. Unless some of you have bought it. The only thing I'm kind of curious to know on the Mustang is the FADEC simulation. How accurate is it? The last Mustang I've had, I think it was Flight 1, I believe. Flight 1 had the Mustang. It's been out for years actually, and the frames were horrid. They were terrible unless you had something just ridiculous. I think I had at the time when I was flying in a lot, I think I had an i5. I forgot what gen, but I had an i5, and the frame rates were atrocious. Really good G1000 simulation. The FADEC simulation was pretty good. It's really good actually, but it's just hard to fly with the frames being so low. I'm not a 60. It doesn't have to be 60 FPS for me. It really doesn't. I'll take a good, if it's smooth at 20, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. But, we weren't even getting that. It was like, 13, 14, but perhaps I didn't make the minimum system requirements. I don't know. But yeah, so they He released a Mustang here not too long ago. It looks phenomenal. It looks really good. But that would be my biggest question is, what are we looking like in terms of fidelity, especially on the FedEx side, systems fidelity, especially on the FedEx side. So if any one of you, or if anyone owns it, please let me know in the comments what's it like. And heck, I may go ahead and grab it and stream it. So we'll just see. And I did finally, I've been wanting to for forever, and finally bit the bullet and purchased the Eclipse from AKRacing, Eclipse 100 or something like that. Is it 100? No, not 100. It was a 550. I think it's 550. The Eclipse 550, and I'm very, very impressed. Very impressed. Shout out to AKRacing for an amazing model. Just a really fun, I don't know about you guys, but some aircraft, a lot of times we get those study level type sims to add that degree of not so much as stress, but something that makes you work a little bit. But then there's times to where it's like I just want to just fly somewhere and nothing crazy, nothing super stressful, just something to relax and enjoy the sights and enjoy what all X-Plane has to offer, and that the Eclipse does that for me. It really does. It doesn't, it's not a, most even in the real world, the majority of the systems are highly automated. I mean, the start sequence is like starting your car almost. It's just a joy to fly. It really was. It's really, really fun airplane to fly. So if you haven't looked at it, definitely take a look at it. It's on the .org website. The AKRacing Eclipse 550. Just throw a little plug in there. So it's just a lot of positive things going on in the X-Plane world. Vertical Simulations just released their, or starting to release their V-States line. I think they've done Florida, Georgia, Alabama. And I think it's ortho. I'm not 100% familiar with how it works, but I think it's ortho scenery. So it kind of picks a little, it gives you the textures of this. I mean, what I'm saying, ortho photos, I guess, or whatever. And it looks really good, and I love the fact that they're releasing them for free. The downloads are a little hefty, which, I mean, heck, it's free. I mean, it's for Christ's sake, it's free. But you download it, install it, and they look great. So hopefully, we'll see a Texas and Mississippi line here shortly. So it'd be pretty cool. But so yeah, they've continuously graced us with awesome products. I've just been really impressed. I mean, there's a lot of developers that impress me, which is not really hard to do, but since I've been kind of traversed more into X-Plane, but when you're releasing good scenery at a really good price, I'm just very, very thankful for that. It's easier for especially those of us who don't have that budget, to just go all in, on add-ons, but you want that experience, and especially with airports that aren't the PHXs or the PDXs or the LAX, SFO, KSAN, Chicago, DFW, New York. I mean, you see what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of sceneries out there. I mean, give us a few Class C airports. I think, developers like Vertical Sim, I think they, really do appreciate, them for giving us, some Class Charlie airports. No, man, some Class D's would be nice too, but definitely Class Charlie airports, I feel have been quite neglected since, 80 to 90% of the commercial flights, you see a Class Charlie airport at some point. So, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport. Shreveport's actually been covered pretty good. Fort Smith, Arkansas, Paducah, Kentucky, which Paducah is in Class C, but you know what I'm saying. Regional airports, it's always nice to see, a really high fidelity regional airport. Airports that we see every day. So kudos to those guys. And I think there's actually someone who's working on a really high quality Proline setup in a beach jet, I think. I was looking at one of the news websites and where I think it's on the Threshold X, I believe, where they posted like a line of upcoming or current business aircraft for X-Plane, and trying to find it now. I'm looking for it. Can't find it. But yeah, and I think it was one of them. They there we go. Run down the business jets in development. This is from the thresholdx.net. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. And I'll tell you what else to check out too while we're on the threshold. There's a Mooney lineup. For those of you who are fans of, the Mooney, the single engine GA aircraft that's out there, really fast. Thing's a freaking bullet. But I think it's only on their site, but they do like the M20 line. Well, I'm not going to say their store has, I think it's made by AFM. I've been on the fence about getting it, but I'm really thinking about getting it. Visually, I looked at a few videos of it. Visually, it left a lot to be desired. And, so I was kind of like, I don't know. I may hold off and see if a patch comes, but systems wise, it's there. And the modeling, the exterior modeling, fantastic. Just the interior, it's a little meh, but flyable. Perfectly flyable. Like I said, it looks good. It's just, man, we're one to go. And check this out, guys. We're at Mach 0.81. So we're getting it. Not going to be too much longer. And once we get close to Macomb, we'll start our descent. And we'll start our descent and landing and all that fun stuff. So should be cool. I'll bring it down here to about 90, 96 and all three. Which I had to map an additional, which I have two of the side tech throttle quadrants kind of smushed together. Whoops. Kind of smushed together. So, just FYI, you can probably map all three of these, I'm assuming, to, whatever. But I did have to map all three of my levers for the throttles, which isn't a huge deal. But anyway, but yeah, so AFM simulations, definitely check it out. I was quite impressed with what I saw, and in fact, I may go ahead and get it. I'm kind of wary about, now you do see that it's a double-edged sword, right? So the majority of us, we see like the Piper Cherokees and the Arrows and the 172s, the 180s, 182s. We see those all the time, right? So, me personally, I kind of like aircraft that I see but don't have any sort of connection with. I guess it sounds kind of weird, but that's the best way I can describe it. So when I see like something interesting like the Aerostar 601 by Avia, I think. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Check that out. So I'll grab it. But even though it's like a high fidelity, really, I mean, just a spot on um, Cherokee or Arrow or Seminole, like I've spent time in all of those aircraft, so it's like, like I see, like, just prime example, Just Flight, I think, has a beautiful, beautiful Piper Arrow. I mean, the thing looks good. But, it's like, man, do I want that? Do I, you know, it's, you almost kind of want to get it for the nostalgia, of, man, because most Pipers that I've been in aren't in the best of condition from an interior standpoint. The reason, since the majority of them are trainers, and the majority of them are 70s or 80s, are cheap to operate. Pretty much everybody and their mom can work on them. So I mean, I get it, but it's like, man, like, do I really want to spend, what little free time I have, flying something I can, go fly now or whatever. Which some people would, especially, for example, if you're studying up, and trying to get your working on your, any one of your tickets, your private, commercial, whatever. You can go and practice your steep turns, turns around point, whatever. These will be perfect for it. They're NX plane, this and this and that. They'd be great for it. But anything else, I'm kind of hesitant on getting, even though I may, at some point, go ahead and grab them. But definitely M20. I think it's probably going to be at some point for me. I may go ahead and grab it. And I think Just Flight has the Piper Arrows. I think they have a turbocharged one or something like that. But then on the other side of the spectrum, it's like, I think we have more 747s than we can shake a stick at. I think we have more Airbuses than we can shake a stick at. I think we have more, heck, give them a little bit and we'll have more 787s than we can shake a stick at, which is awesome. And, as a developer, you want to really, you want to do something that you really believe in, and, what motivates you, what resonates with you. So I totally get that. But, I mean, I think Rotate's working on an MD-8, so it'll be kind of nice to see an MD-80. Not MD-8, I'm sorry, I digress. What is it, MD-11? So it'd be really nice to see MD-11. AKRacing came in and saved the freaking day with their ERJ series, the 17, 175, 195, and now we got the 140, 145, 135, 145 XR. So they're pretty much covered on that. Just general aviation, what I would like to see at some point is there's a really good Commander, like really good Rockwell Commander turboprop flavor would be really nice. Or like the Aerostar. It's the 601P, but there's another one above that, and I can't think of what it is at the moment. Let's see what else. The Mooney. I like to see the Mooney. If at some point that Mooney would ever receive an upgrade, I think that would. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of AFM, so I didn't really And and it was funny how I saw it. I was on the .org, and I lurk a lot in the forums, and I was on the .org, and I was like, man, what the heck is that? So I googled it. I was like, holy smoke! So they give you like several aircraft, for a really good price, and I was like, oh man, I have to check that out. But I was kind of on the fence of this thing too. I was looking at it. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and see what this is about, and kind of go from there. But I mean, we all know what we're getting into when we hit that buy now button with Carenado at this point. I mean, even those of us who are new to the industry, a quick Google search would fill us in very quickly in regards to, what they're all about. I mean, we all know, but I will say that it's a fun airplane. Just don't take it as study level. If it's something you want to jump into, go from point A to point B, this will be a thing for you. I mean, there's very few Falcon 50s out there, in the flight sim world in general, right? So, I think like FlySimmer has one. FlySimmer has one for P3D, and Carenado did one for P3D. But as far as X-Plane, I think it was this, and that was it. I mean, unless there was a freeware version that was out there, I wasn't aware of. And you can remove the winglets, so off. I mean, on, off, on, off. So it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna venture to say that this affects aircraft performance. I'm not gonna tell you that because I don't know. But from a visual perspective, it's there. It will be kind of nice since well, I guess I will kind of get frames, but it would be kind of nice to have the little baggage access here, so you can open the door and mosey back there, and sure. I think there's a lav back there. I think that would have been pretty interesting to see. Now I'll tell you who's really good about that. And actually, sometimes I think like, man, I need to fire that thing up and give it a shot. But DDN, or am I pronouncing it right? DDN, something like that. DDN has the Challenger 300, which they're actually working on a poop. Yes, I said poop. They're working on a Bombardier Global 6000, which, whenever that thing does come out, it's going to be a sight to see. It's going to be a sight to see. DDN, like I said, for those of you who don't know, they did the Challenger 300, which to this day is a very, very, very good business jet for X-Plane. Flies extremely accurately. In fact, I think there's a couple of Challenger drivers that visit the forums from time to time, and they can attest to its accuracy. It's a little dated. The panel is a little dated, but I think it's still using the the plain Jane X-Plane 11 FMS, which was a little bummer for me. But you kind of when everything looks so good, you kind of look past that. So, okay, I can get from point A to point B with this thing, so I'm cool with that. But I mean, everything, like the entire cabin, is modeled very well. So if you don't have one, if you're looking at a Challenger or something like that, any kind of Bombardier-based business jet, it's a really good one. So kind of curious here. I've been watching this for quite some time. We're set up for, and what we may have to do, actually, which they do give you a little click spot here for a 2D, I guess 2D version of the autopilot controller there. So we can throw this guy in vertical speed and see if we can crank this thing up. I just would like to see at some point 39,000 feet to say that we hit 39,000 feet. And I'm going to come up a little bit on the engines here. See what happens. We're about 98 miles from Macomb, and as I said, you know, Macomb and Hattiesburg, they're pretty close together. For those of you who aren't familiar with Mississippi, it's about 50 miles driving in Macomb. So once you hit Macomb, I mean, if you're at 39,000 feet and you cross Macomb, you're about to blow right past your airport, unless you're heading to Gulfport or something like that. So we'll start descent here actually shortly. I just want to at least touch 39,000 feet, so I can say, all right, hit 39,000. We'll start descent because, in fact, I mean, we could probably start descent now. Just waiting to kind of see what she does here. And you know, we're above the clouds now. Tropical storm or tropical depression Barry, or whatever the heck his name is, I think is in the vicinity, so that's why we're getting so much activity as far as weather. So we're probably going to go ahead and prep ourselves up with an ILS and get ready for that descent, which is going to be kind of odd since I think the winds are coming out of the south. And yeah, I think the ILS, let me look here, it's been some years. Let me look. Low procedure approach. Yeah, it's 1.8. So last I checked, I think the winds were coming out of the south as well. Oh, vectors. What is it? Woback? That's what I used to take. Minus that bloody procedure turn. I guess we might have to hit it anyway. I don't know. A load approach. Yeah, from right around. Yes, I know. Probably could have did GPS approach, but I really want to see what she'll do with an ILS. Man, shout out to Reality XP for this for blessing us with this 750. For explain, because it makes life so much easier. Which technically Proline has kind of sort of close to the same capabilities, but you know this, you know, it's not quite true to form Proline. So you know, let's see, man, there we go. All right, so we'll scroll over here. So 109.50. I'm gonna go ahead and set that in my radio here. 1095. Oh, it's already in there. Cool. Works out pretty nice. What's the ASOS frequency? 128. 128. Alright. The heck am I doing? What was it? What the heck am I doing? Let's see here. 128.325. 128.32. It's not gonna take that. We'll go in there. We may not get it just yet, being that we're so far away, but we'll get it here once we get close. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start. Didn't plan on going to 41,000 feet either, but you know, whatever. Whatever. Vertical speed. Let's see if I can. There we go. I don't know if we have to arm the altitude to achieve it or what. So we're set up for 39,000 feet, but whatever. We hit 41, so. Which normally I set my pressurization controller for like 1,000 foot higher, so 41's kind of, but it'll be all right. All right, so we're starting our descent here. And I just went ahead and chopped power because it's going to be a sight to see. I'm trying to get down here, but I think we can do it. I think we can pull it off. Find that kind of amusing. Let's see here. Like I said, we got that power completely chopped, and 3,700 foot per minute, and we're still Mach 0.75, which isn't too bad. I'm pretty sure if we added a bit of spoiler, we can probably drop like a freaking rock, but I don't think that'll be totally necessary. Let's go on the map here. TOD. Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll cross Macomb, then from Macomb we'll technically catch oil back, but we probably won't do that. We'll probably just break off and catch the ILS and call it slick. I don't think we'll do all of that and see how this thing handles a ILS approach. Let's see, coming out of flight level 330 for, what is it, 2,000? So bring it up 2,000. Not that it would matter since it's going to blow right past it anyway. Or I say that, or perhaps, I didn't have this thing completely configured. I'm not sure, but most of, which I guess can't really compare it to other airplanes, but, most, auto flight system I've dealt with, you set your altitude, vertical speed, and the only one I've seen was different than is like the Dash 8, where you have to press the Alt Cell button to arm it, and then it catches it. Otherwise, you blow right past it. But other than that, I mean, that's seemed to be the general, function that most auto flight systems have. But we're not going to split hairs here. Like I said, when you buy this thing, just know what you're buying. Just know what you're buying. I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy it. I'm not going to tell you to go out and not buy it. But that was all right. So visibility more, and that's Prentice. Okay. But I will say this. Definitely do your due diligence, do some research. There are some things that could be improved on, and just go from there. And just and like I said, at the end of the day, unless you're training to get your type rating in this thing or whatever, I mean it's getting from point to point B, right? I try not to be that guy. Me personally, I try not to be that guy to jump on there and say, oh, this isn't study level, this, and blah blah blah, whatever. But it's things $40. We all know what quote unquote study aircraft level, you know, um, study level aircraft costs. We all know this. Um, so just do your due diligence. It looks beautiful, beautiful airplane. Hand flies quite well, in my opinion. I said I have no time in the bloody thing, so I can't tell you if it's accurate. It just flies well to me, which I think we sometimes we can get that misconstrued. All this thing flies very accurate. Well, I'm pretty sure you don't have a whole lot of time in the Concorde. You know what I'm saying? So it for looking at how this airplane is shaped with the swept wings. One would assume that you kind of have to be on your toes at slower airspeed. The wing is, this particular wing is designed to go fast, right? So even with slats, so slats and flaps extend the surface area of the wing to give us that straight type winged, handling at lower airspeed, so we can slow down and get into those airports, right? So, with all that taken into account, if I were to envision how an aircraft of this caliber handled, it would be somewhat in the neighborhood to that, rather than telling you that, hey, it handles great and this is how it is and blah blah blah. Because I don't know, but just guessing, it does fly pretty well to me. It trims out pretty good. You'll see once we, if we can get this approach to line out, what we'll do. Of course, we're going to have to hand fly on. I don't think this thing is capable of auto landing, but we will. All right, I think we know the weather and presence at this point. This airplane needs to be flown onto the runway. You can't just, set up a speed. Kind of like the Aero J we were talking about in the previous stream, right? So, you kind of need to, just don't stop flying it when at the flare. You know what I'm saying? You fly it all the way through, and she comes down quite nicely. I'm still trying to get the hang of the speeds and the power settings and everything, but she does come down quite well. Let's see, we're going to shallow this out a little bit. And we'll kick in some little auto brake there, help us slow down. Hopefully with all these clouds, my sim doesn't spaz out on me, but we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Alright, we're making that turn there. And should be coming down below 250. I'm going to shallow it out a little more. And then I'm going to get out of this auto brake. Then, I'm going to tell you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to, where's that? Push to sync, my heading bug. And then wait for it to line out a little bit. We have to press it again. Alright, push the sync, and then we'll go ahead and press the heading strap button, making sure that we're actually on the notches on heading. All right, so right now we're tracking heading. All right, I'm gonna get under that speed just a little bit, a little power, not much, just a little. All right, we're about 45 miles from Hattiesburg, so shallow this guy out just a little bit, and then we're just gonna make a right turn there. And while we're doing all this, we're gonna jump over here and get our course info, which should be located. If I can get myself together here, charts, approach course 181. All right, that's what we needed there. 181. I'm gonna come in a little more power there. Get the line out. 214 should be plenty fast enough. Where's that course button? All right, so presets we need to track. Let's see. I'm gonna say VR1. All right, there we go. Push to select. Hopefully that worked. Apparently not. Oh man, this guy. Let's see here. Try this one more time. That's interesting. Let's see, select. Let's see, bearing source. I spent a whole lot of time with this thing. I may have to figure out something else. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see here. Course. Let's see if we can get this thing to function. Yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot of luck with this. So what we may do, for the sake of not completely botching this up, is we may change this to a GPS approach, because I can't get our nav source to change. It may be me, you know. Let's see. But I'm not getting any love this thing at all. So, tell you what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time with it. Here's what we'll do. We'll go procedure, arrival. We'll do RNAV vectors. I think is load and activate approach. Should be heading direct to there. There we go. Alright, so which I think that's also our missed approach point as well. 2100. Let's see. Alright, visibility more than 10, so at least the visibility won't be horrible. I see, our lowest layer, we got what, 1300 scattered. Alright, it's not too bad. But yeah, I did slow down. We're about 200 knots now. I didn't just want to go in there guns a-blazing, right? So we'll go ahead and set up our 3009. Yeah, I think this thing has wipers. Alright, let's flip that real quick. Alright, 19 miles from Malvy, I think. Wherever that one is. Yeah, Mulvey. Give ourselves a little bit of a wing view there. And we'll just turn landing lights on. Pressurization looks like it's tracking. It's cut between a layer. Alright, 14 miles to go. And like I said, we need to be at 2,100 feet, so I'm gonna kick in a little more vertical speed. All right. And let's see the little dial there. And airspeed wise, here's a good question. Well, gee whiz, what airspeed should we be flying on this hopefully successful approach? Let's see, let's look at these performance tables here. I don't know if you guys can see them. Let's see here. $123. All right. Looks like we are there, about 6 miles from Malvy. Right now, I just got the engines idle there to help lead off some airspeed. Now, I did level off at 21-ish, so did the same thing I did earlier. Okay. some slats there. So I got slats in right now. I'm going to leave flaps alone for right now. About to cross Malvi here in just a minute. There's Malvi. Alright. It's kind of nice to, you know, at least, you know, run the throttles on a tri-jet, because we're so used to twins nowadays. It is a welcomed experience at times to. Now, I don't know how this thing is going to react, but just to give you guys an idea what we're looking at here. Alright, right turn to heading 181. Alright, there's that right turn. I'm going to stay in it just a little bit. That's what makes it nice about these slats. The very large slat assembly and flap assemblies is you can really get down them lower speeds and still have some sense of control. Alright, looks like she's lining up there nicely. Approach mode is armed. We'll see if it catches it here. Got the runway in sight. Yeah, so 170 knots, about 5 degrees of 5 degrees of pitch there, so this is not too bad. I'm just gonna see how this autopilot responds to this approach, and if it gets crazy, we'll just actually gonna take it here in a minute anyway, but alright, there's that glide slope. And we'll go ahead and go gear down, see if she catches it. Yeah, looks like she caught it right there. Gear down and flaps 20. Alright, there's a VREF. get back in it there. Yeah, flaps 40. Now, I don't know if this thing has auto brake. It might in a real aircraft. I know this one doesn't, so I did have to manually use the auto brake. I mean the air brakes in this one, so just FYI. And I think we can have the controls. Alright, so definitely don't want to get too slow in this thing. And like I said, you want to use your power to control your altitude and pitch for your airspeed. So just kind of like settle down. Right now it's between 65, 66% in one. Might come down to 60. See what that does. I got 2 green, 2 red so far. I'm at a little power there. Just a little. Okay, some rudder. Alright. Try to hit those numbers or get close to them. So I'm gonna cut them out of it a little bit. Cut a little bit of power there. Not gonna idle, I'm just gonna bring it back a little bit. Alright, I'm just gonna slowly make that transition. Work it out, work it out, work it out. Idle. There we go. Alright, now air brakes and on the reversers. And we'll keep a little bit of back pressure. Keep that nose up a little bit. Get that nose up, nose up. Alright, below 60, we'll put some pressure there on that nose. We'll get some controllability. Alright, so that's it. There we go. Cool. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, it's a little weird. It does take some getting used to. So I mean, I can understand people's frustrations. The biggest thing is just being careful with that power and not taking it out too early, you know, and kind of flying it onto the runway there the best you can. Actually, let's see if we can run a replay real quick. Just kind of curious. I definitely was not on the steering line, but I was kind of curious. Let's see what this thing looked like from the exterior, even though we don't have a tower. I can see what it looks like here. Came in a little fast. I was trying to bleed off a little. That's why I was trying to go over the numbers and then just bleed off some airspeed and ground the fat, but whatever. See, look at those flats there. I mean, just massive, massive surfaces. That's the only thing that bugs me. I really wish they would have giving us the ability to actually use our tiller axis. I'm hoping that's just me, and it's just not something with the airplane.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
There we go, wing view there. Yeah, I came in a little hot on that one, but whatever. I'll take a somewhat decent landing all day long. No wing flex. I'm not, well, I say no wing flex. I'm not sure exactly how much, you know, these short wings do flex. I'm pretty sure they're fairly rigid, but it's decent. I'll take that.
Don't sink.
We're not sinking.
Don't sink.
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't sink.
It's okay.
Don't.
There we go. All right, so now I keep using my tiller as if I'm gonna move something. All right, come on. I'm just gonna use my number 2. I'm not gonna use anything else. Taxi, and that is like once again, it's one of the nice things about Trijet. You know, you don't have to use a whole bunch of extra, you know, for taxi. Just use that number 2 and your taxi's just fine. While we're doing that, like I said, we're gonna try to clean up a little bit. Get this thing all nice and clean and fire up this old APU. Landing lights off. And leave the beacon light on there. I don't think we'll need the strobes right now, but I mean, it looks good. And maybe it's me. Maybe I didn't. There was something I didn't do to get there because I really wanted this thing to see. I really wanted to see how this thing performed in ILS. But I will say this. Just by setting up that little quick RNAV approach, I think if the visibility would have, you know, been any worse, I think it would have been just fine. Of course, down to minimums, but I think we would have been just fine. So, you know, let me know if you guys do grab it. Let me know what your experiences are. You know, let me know. Maybe there's something I didn't do to get the ILS to work, but. We made it. It's a very unique airplane, quite pleasing to the eye. So, kudos to Carenado for once again, just, you know, freaking putting out another masterpiece. But systems-wise, it, you know, it could use some work. But nothing old patch won't fit. Won't alleviate some of the issues. But you know, it's flyable. You know, we got from Addison Airport to Hattiesburg-Laurel Regional just fine. Just gotta stay on top of it. Just can't really. You know, that's any airplane. You know, you wanna be on top of it because you never know. I mean, even in real world, you know, operations, you know, auto flight systems can and do fail. So. I'll try to be on top of it. And see if I can straighten this bloody thing out here. Goodness gracious, guys. Give me my tiller. That's my only gripe with it, though. Well, you know. Only non-functional issue thing, gas. That's weird. That's just weird to me. I really wish it would just... Tiller just does not work, but oh well. Oh, so to turn off the engines, just click that, hit stop, pull it down, hit the button, pull it down, and there you go. And there's the park switch there for both of those. Both of those there. And heck. Then of course you can open your little door if you desire or whatever, you know, so. I mean, once again, you guys see what I'm talking about. Look at that. You know, so Maybe it's, once again, maybe it's me, you know. But very, very interesting airplane, very interesting aircraft. Aesthetically looks really good. So if you guys do check it out, let me know what your experiences are, you know, and if this gave you a little bit more of an insight on whether you're going to pull the trigger or not, you know, shoot me a like or subscribe or whatever. And other than that, guys, I'm gonna go out here and fool with the kids a little bit and try to salvage some of this Sunday. But until next time, you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you guys later.